As a business owner, you can't underestimate data collection, especially in social media.
Yeah, and although social media data collection may seem like a chore, it can play a major role in helping your business achieve greater success.
Yeah, it can tell you what strategies are working and which ones need to be tweaked.
And as we said before, marketing strategies need to be constantly checked and backed by data, and the data will kind of tell you when you need to tweak something.
Yeah, and that data will also help you give a little insight on your target audience, which we've said time and time again, your target audience needs to be your main focus in all of your marketing efforts.
So today on The Obsessed Marketer, let's discuss social media data for your business. Welcome back to the Obsessed Marketer podcast, the podcast designed for you, the small business owner looking to jumpstart your business and learn quick marketing strategies that you can take with you to increase sales, reach, and growth. I'm Andrew Hayes.
And I'm Holland Berkey.
And welcome back. We're so excited to have you back here. And we're going to talk a little bit about social media today, Holland, right?
Yes, social media. Love it. Gotta have it. But it can be kind of confusing.
It can be. Are you just kind of obsessed with social media as much as I am?
Yes, it can be kind of bad sometimes. This year I've been trying to limit my social media intake, but it's just everywhere. And
it's kind of ingrained in culture at this point.
Oh, especially like I use it to get my news from.
Yeah.
Like social media is just, it's at the touch of our fingertips now with all these like iPhones and smartphones and everything. So, and it's going to be in front of your target audience all the time too. That's why you really need to focus on it.
And it's very confusing at first because I think as a small business owner, it's something that I've done when I've started new social accounts is like, oh, let's just start posting things. But in reality, everything needs to be backed by data, having a strategic plan in place. We've been talking about that a lot on the podcast in the first 2 episodes before this, which, by the way, if you haven't, go ahead and check those out. But for just starting social media for your business, or maybe you're looking to increase your engagement or your followers, we're going to have a great guest on for you today. Her name is Lauren Zilick. And she is just a social media whiz.
She really is.
She's our social media manager here at Viral Solutions. And literally, I don't know what we would do without her.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Honestly.
She does a lot on the side as well as doing stuff for us. And so I think it'll be really interesting to talk to her about how to kind of increase engagement and what to kind of look for when you're kind of analyzing the data of your social media for your business.
There's a lot of different data points to look at, and sometimes those numbers can be confusing and you don't know exactly what to do with it. So in this podcast, we're going to show you how to work with it.
All right, let's just get right into it.
Shall we?
Let's go. All right, welcome back to the Obsessed Marketer, and we have a special guest here today. We have Miss Lauren Zilick from Viral Solutions. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name's Lauren. I'm the social media manager here at Viral Solutions. I'm excited to be on the Obsessed Marketer today.
Yes, and we're excited to have you. So let's just kind of go over what you do and where your social media journey kind of started.
Yeah, so, gosh, it's been a while. Basically, like I've always been obsessed with social media, everything online. I can remember going back to like middle school, high school, and having that old like Instagram layout and Facebook layout of kind of like the blue and brown Instagram logo, and dealing with all those filters and just how cool it was, and being obsessed with this new app on the phone. And pretty much from there, just like always staying in the know of it has really helped me able to just like learn and keep up with all the ever-changing trends, which is honestly what I like about it. So that's kind of where I started, is a little passion of it back in middle school and high school. From there, it wasn't until probably like my second or third year of university where I was like, okay, this is when blogging really took off. Everyone was having a website and blogging was big. So like, hey, I want to start a blog. So I just got a domain and built a website, just a simple WordPress website. Like I cannot build those crazy ones now. Like I know how to put a text box and the little things in there and change the color. I know my way around it, but can't do it all the big fancy stuff. But I did learn that. And that kind of fueled my social media career as well, because blogging was a big area of social media, and it's where a lot of like the big influencers started right now, was from blogging. And so I did that, and then I actually went away for a couple summers abroad, and that's when I really started to do the vlogging, so video vlogging, and trying to see, okay, do I have time like to make these videos, edit it, like just play around in it and just figure it out.
Now, was that on like YouTube, or were you doing them on socials? Like, where were you putting those?
I was putting on them on YouTube, but I was using my social media to drive people to my YouTube.
Okay.
And then I did also go to the university. I graduated my bachelor of business administration in marketing. Yeah.
So then you kind of combined the two then, like the school and then what you personally like to do. And it got you to this point of being a social media manager for a lot of clients. So let's go into that. How many clients do you currently schedule for and work for?
Yeah, well, right now I schedule and plan, like strategize all of our solutions ones. So I think right now we've got about 6 in our Sprout Social right now. So those are the ones that are constantly analyzing their data for and making their strategy for, creating the content plans for it, and working with our entire content and messaging team to execute their social media strategy.
Cool. Okay, so today's episode is a little bit about social media data. So why do you believe collecting data on social media sites is important?
It's imperative, honestly, to make any decision in social media. You need to be able to have data to back it up and numbers to back it up. Otherwise, it's just going blindly into just whatever direction you want. You could go in one direction and realize, oh no, like my following does not like this at all. This does not resonate with them. I just spent so much time and money on this campaign, and it did not work. And granted, there's always going to be those risks. Like there's always going to be risks where campaigns might not perform to what you wanted it to, but the data will drive you in the direction of where you should be going. So it's just going to tell you exactly like what your followers are doing, where they're active. Is going to tell you when to post, so your posts are actually seen by them, when to engage with them. There's so many things that it tells you.
Yeah, numbers do not lie. And that's not just in social media too. Every aspect of marketing should be backed by data, like paid ads and things like that. So data really can be helpful. It can be kind of boring to look at numbers if people are more of like a visual learner or something, and you're just kind of looking at a bunch of numbers and can't really understand them, but it can really help you out.
You know, there are some fancy bar graphs too, and some pie graphs.
True, there are some visual aspects, so super intriguing.
Those definitely help. I was not a math person. I hated math. I still don't like math, like typical, like math is in the sense of algebra, and I don't even know all those functions that I have to do. But I like looking at data. Like I love looking at the numbers for social and seeing like everything go. You want it to go up. Hopefully it's going up.
It is exciting when you see something that performed really well. Like you see the engagements like skyrocket on something. Like you get like a little jolt of energy. I remember you'll share stuff with me, like a graphic I made and it performed really well. I'm like, oh my gosh, the data proves that we are doing it right. It's really exciting. So
then for a small business owner then, or someone who's just kind of managing their social media channels, what are the types of insights and analytics and data that you're looking for?
So a lot of people will assume that it's your follower count, but that's not really what we're going to be looking at when we're looking at the data. We're really looking at your engagement, your impressions, the reach, and any of the shares or clicks on the post, because that's really going to tell us like what people did. So your impressions are how many people saw the post, but the engagements are going to say how many people actually like clicked on it or liked it or spent time on it. And that's what really matters, because if you have 1 million people that saw a post, but there's like 10 people that engaged on it, you had great reach and great try, but nobody did anything on it. And that's not what you're doing, like even as a marketer.
Yeah. And the platforms I know too, like Facebook and Instagram, they like to see content that does have high engagement, and they'll start to push you more in the algorithm. You'll be like higher up because they're like, you're making really good content that people actually like. So they'll start to push you a little more. So the engagements are really kind of what matters. Like you said, if 1 million people saw it, like that's cool, but Facebook is like, I don't care. I want people to engage with it, engage on our platform. So it's super important for that.
What are some ways that you kind of collect that data then? Like what kind of tools would you use in your job?
Yeah, so we use a few different tools depending on the type of post. If it's a paid social media, we use Wicked Reports, which tells us exactly like from our ad spend how much revenue was brought in from the clicks on those ads. But if it's an organic post, which is what I'm using, I love using Sprout Social. That's my favorite tool
Let's go
in the
Sprout.
world.
Yes.
I use that in college too. I had a social media class and they're like, Sprout Social is the way to go. It's a really like user friendly, I feel like, tool too. Like the interface is really nice.
Yeah, I love it. Like and it's super user friendly. They're so helpful too if you have any questions. And the data that it pulls is insane. Like it'll also calculate your engagement rate as well, which takes your impressions and your engagements and creates that percentage of, okay, how many people saw it and acted on it. So we use that, but you can also use, like, I do also love looking at just the Meta Business Suites insights, because that'll give you your Facebook and your Instagram. It's typically going to be the same for, if you're looking at Sprout, it's going to be realistically the same, except Meta is the free version of it. So if there's anyone out there who is wondering, oh, like, what is my engagement at? Then
You can find it out for yourself too. Yeah.
it's in the
For free.
Meta Business Suite.
I'm still not used to hearing the word meta.
Yeah. Instead of Facebook.
I'm not.
Yeah.
You said that in first like 2 seconds. I was like, wait. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, Facebook, Instagram. It's gotta learn.
It has been like, I've been drilling it into my brain, like meta.
Yeah.
And not Facebook.
God. So when you're looking at those insights from Sprout Social and from Meta, how do you then kind of optimize kind of the work that you're doing for clients or for your own brand?
Yeah. So if I see that the engagement rate is really, really low, there's a few things that I'm going to look at. I'm going to look at the post itself, the type of post, the content in the post, and whether it was like a graphic, a video, an image, and what piece about that might not have resonated with the audience. Because it could be something as small as, oh, we didn't use any keywords in the caption. There's no, or there was no caption at all, which meant that your entire reach was gone. Or it could be maybe it was just an image or a messaging piece that we just didn't click with our audience, which means we just have to go back and understand our audience better and create a content that they'll resonate more with, or see maybe we were too far off on a topic. Like maybe it was too detailed for someone who might just be coming to this page for a client and doesn't know anything about them. And we need to make something that they're able to understand a little so then they can follow in turn.
So then, like, even though we're talking about, like, you know, we work with clients and stuff like that, but even for you, the small business owner out there, that this applies to you too, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like if you're posting stuff and you're getting no engagements, but you have a reach, even if you don't have a reach there, but you're getting no engagements on it, it's time to switch up your content strategy. It may mean you're not posting the right types of content. Right now, video is big. So if you can just go and post video, that's a great start. Carousels are amazing right now on Instagram. It's all about like the type of content and making sure that you are giving your audience the content that they need and providing a value for them.
I wanted to shift gears a little bit here because I think, Lauren, that you can kind of resonate a little bit with our audience, especially being kind of a small business. Would you call yourself a small business owner, like a brand? What would you call yourself on the side, outside of work?
Outside of work, I'm definitely a content creator.
Yeah.
And then I am part of a small business with my boyfriend as well.
So you do kind of a little bit of social media and stuff for that brand. And so I kind of want to ask you, what kind of struggles have you faced as someone kind of on the same level as kind of like a business, well, not a business owner, but like someone who kind of manages content for a business, and how you kind of overcame them?
So I've been on pretty much either side now. I've been on the content creator side, I've been on the brand side, as well as social media manager side. And so content creators working with brands on social media and creating content that way. But then I'm also a part owner in a small business with my boyfriend. And we've got a vodka company together, Bomba Vodka. And that we started from pretty much scratch. Like I want to say I started from just creating the business about a year and a half ago. It was just an idea and kind of getting all the business documents together until about a year ago, we've actually had product now. So I've seen it all now, and then now managing clients' social media strategy at Viral Solutions.
So what kind of struggles do you face then when it comes to the stuff that you're doing on the side and doing more of the business aspect kind of things?
Yeah, so I can definitely relate to a lot of small business owners. You'd think that even as a social media manager, you'd kind of have like that kind of side done. And you do, like, it is kind of like a nice perk for my boyfriend to have for his business there. True. Yeah. A built-in social media manager at home. But there's also the other things to deal with, like getting all the paperwork involved, all the business and legal documents, doing all the budgeting and admin and finances. We're just a company of just two people, like just us in it. So we're the ones going to customers, going to stores, going to restaurants, pitching our vodka and selling it, and also nurturing our current like client base and creating and fostering those relationships. So it's definitely a lot when you also add in social media and content creation for it. And it can seem really overwhelming. And I know it can, because I've been right in it. It can be very overwhelming to be able to manage all of it. So I definitely feel like when clients come to us, one of the biggest struggles is I can't keep up with it all. It's a lot. It honestly is, especially when Instagram is out here launching different feeds every day.
Yeah. 2 new ones. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So we definitely needed that.
So then what are your tips then for a small business owner who's just starting out on social media?
Yeah, if you're just starting out, just pick one or two, maybe three, but one or two core like apps that your audience is actually going to be on. So figure out who your avatar is and where your audience is. If it is kind of a younger age, like I want to say like 18-25, definitely want to do like Instagram and TikTok. But if you've got a little bit of an older one, you want to make sure you've got your Facebook and Instagram created, and just focus on those. Focus where your audience is, because that's where you're going to be building it. If none of your audience is on Twitter, don't worry about that right now. You can worry about it once you've got a solid strategy and a solid following on your Instagram and Facebook, TikTok, whichever one you choose. Focus on that first.
Yeah.
Which, that sounds familiar, Holland, right?
A little bit.
We talked about that in episode 1 of The Obsessed Marketer, which you can go find. We'll link that in the show notes for you to listen to. We talked with Tom, our CMO, who went into really big depth into that kind of topic. So go ahead, listen to that. But I think we should wrap this up by kind of giving the actionable tips for small business owners, so that they can start implementing a good strategy for social media data collection now. So let's kind of go over some questions here. What are some important metrics to keep an eye on?
Your impressions and your reach. Those are going to be like your main ones. You also, I want to say your audience to a T, not to a T, to a certain degree. Is a better word there.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to get caught up in like, I only have 500 followers. I only have 1,000 followers. Don't get caught up in that, but focus on the rate that you are growing. So even if you're gaining a solid, like, even if it's just 2 followers a day or a week, if it's solid and you're consistently gaining and you're building your audience that way, that is good to have. And like, don't be so hard on yourself if it's not, but definitely keep an eye out on your impressions and your engagement.
Yeah, as long as you're not staying stagnant, like even if you're just growing a little bit, that is something to be proud of, and that is something to know that it's like, it's working to a degree. And then those metrics too. So what would be like a good number for them? Because I know there's like percentages, or sometimes they look pretty small, but overall and in like the industry, they're actually like, they're good numbers. So if you could go over that a little bit.
Yeah. So if you're a business owner, so it's going to be different if you are listening to this and it's a creator space, those are going to be different metrics to look for. But if you're a business owner and you're hitting a 5% engagement rate, that is great. Like keep at it. And then the more that you do and the more you are engaging and engage back with those who are engaging with you, it's just going to go up. 3 is kind of like it's okay. Anywhere really under that, not really, just it's not the greatest. So it just means, okay,
you need to work towards it, work up a little more.
Yeah.
Something might need to be tweaked, or that's when you can go back and be like, okay, maybe rethink the strategy and go in a different direction.
Exactly. Yeah. And if you notice it going down, that means, okay, we got to rethink something, just change it up. And then once you really hit, it's kind of like, I can't think of the word for it, but it's kind of like that sweet spot.
The sweet
When you
spot.
hit that
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, where your growth is just going up and up because you found the right content strategy and the right content and the right value that your audience really wants from you. That's like when you're able to really just keep it growing.
And then, so how often should they be taking these data points and like looking at these metrics?
So I usually look at it weekly for our clients, but a really good base is to do it at least monthly is really going to give you kind of more of a holistic view, because even when I am looking at data for our clients and sharing it on a weekly basis, there are things that can be affecting those numbers. So whether or not there was a huge event and you had a holiday or some kind of a big some kind of service or event, and that really saw your numbers skyrocket, and then the next week it's just there was nothing happening, it was just kind of business as usual, those are going to skew your numbers. So if you look at it at a month view, it's really more holistic that way. But to get kind of a sense of the type of content that you are posting, just try a few of the same ways a few times to gather more data, because you can't just go off of one post either.
Yeah, you have to give it time, because it might just be a fluke. Like we were talking about this before, like sometimes a post is like perfect for your target audience, but it just didn't perform well. There's a multitude of factors that can be why something didn't engage really well or didn't go really well. So yeah, doing it multiple times just to make sure that type of content is really actually doing poorly, because you don't want to not do that kind of content and then miss out. Possibly it is really great for your target audience and it does really well. So just making sure not to throw in the towel too quick on certain things.
Yeah. Lauren, this has been really, really insightful. Are there any other tips last minute that you can present to our listeners out there that could be helpful for them on their social media journey? Just
start with one app is going to be really, really impactful, just to kind of get out there, get your name out there for your small business. Don't feel overwhelmed is probably the biggest one. But then there's also like Viral Solutions. We're here to help you with your social media. There can be so many metrics and just all the factors that play into it. It can be defeating sometimes if you see a number and you're like, I don't know what this means. So even if it just means talking or reaching out, like, do that. At least get the help that you need for that.
Yeah, we are definitely here to help you guys. And because some things can be kind of confusing. If you didn't go to school for social media, or if you didn't get a better education on this stuff, it kind of can be like getting thrown out into the ocean and you don't have a life preserver and you just feel like you're drowning.
And then you get Lauren, who is your life preserver, who can help you.
Lauren is your social media life preserver. She is so knowledgeable on this topic and can definitely help you. Even if it's just a simple question like, what does this percentage mean? Because like we said before, sometimes percentages are really low and you're like, ooh, that doesn't look like it's performing well. But in the grand scheme of things, it's a really good number. So just to get that education on those metrics and the data collection can be really helpful.
And if you want to get help from Lauren or any of us at Viral Solutions, go to viralsolutions.net and click that free marketing audit button at the top of the page, or click the blue chat bubble and ask us anything. We're here for you. All right, Lauren, thank you so much for coming on today, and we appreciate everything you do.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me here.
Yes.
All right. Well, I think that was really insightful.
Yeah, I know. Lauren knows so much about social media.
She is the queen guru of social media for sure. So let's just kind of recap and talk about some of the key points that we took away from what Lauren taught us.
Yeah, I would say definitely when it comes to what to look for, I think that's definitely something that you don't think about. To go into the back end of whatever platform you're using, you could use free sites or free platforms like Meta's Business Suite, or you can pay for one like Sprout Social. It doesn't matter, but you can look at those engagement rates. You can look at your reach. You can see how many impressions you're getting. But it matters, what the difference is between like how much your audience is engaging with your content versus, how many impressions that you're getting.
Yeah. And just that data can be so helpful to you. Numbers don't lie. If you're confused about your social strategy or you're not sure if you're doing the right thing, the data will tell you.
Yes.
The data will tell you if it's working or if it's not. And then you can tweak your strategy from there. So let it help you. Don't just go out all on your own and think that you know best, because most of the time, none of us know best. Marketing, it can be really messy and confusing, and the data will definitely steer you in the right direction.
Yeah, and so we're great, Viral Solutions, at helping you kind of understand that data and pulling it for you. So if you need a little of assistance and need a little bit of help with your marketing all the way around, we have a free 50-point marketing audit for you and your small business or nonprofit organization that you can get right now at viralsolutions.net. That's linked in the show notes, and go ahead and take advantage of it. It's free. Might as well.
It is free, and a big part of it does look at your social, all aspects of your social,
Yes.
so it can be really helpful.
And of course, if you have any other questions about social media, we're here to help you out. Go to viralsolutions.net, click that little blue chat bubble at the bottom, and type us a message. Even if it's just something very arbitrary. Like, I don't know, how do I get more likes on my Instagram post? We're here to help you. Viralsolutions.net, click that button.
Yep. And that's it for now. I'm Holland Berkey.
And I'm Andrew Hayes. We will see you next week. The Obsessed Marketer is a production of Viral Solutions and produced by Andrew Hayes, Holland Berkey, and Joel Schmitz. Give us a rating on Apple Podcasts and Spotify to let us know what you think. And send any topic suggestions to viralsolutions.net. Just click the blue chat bubble at the bottom of the page. Visit viralsolutions.net for more information on how to strategize, execute, and grow your business. And subscribe to this podcast wherever you listen.